Hello there, welcome to Inquiring Minds. My name is Doug and I'm back with today's fountain pen review, this Lemon M1S in titanium. When this seemingly new brand of fountain pen came out last February, I bought one in this lovely burgundy finish with a long knife nib. You can see that review by clicking right up there. I really like this pen. The Lemon M1 is an homage to the 1987 Parker Dual-Fold Centennial, a very successful pen model that is mimicked by many pen makers, not just the Chinese. Take a look at the Conklin Durograph or the Pilot Custom 845 and tell me they aren't based on the Parker Centennial. But the Lemon M1 is very different in one aspect. It's a piston filler with a large ink window. In my review of this M1, I made my opinion known that I think Lemon is clearly a sub-brand or side brand of the Hongdian fountain pen company. They use the same parts, like the piston mechanism and the nib unit. Again, this is just my educated guess and personal opinion. Lemon is a Hongdian, in my opinion, just like Asvine is a Moonman or Mahjong. And Hongdian makes some excellent quality pens. So when I saw the Lemon M1 come out in this titanium finish, I just had to have it because, well, if you've been watching Inquiring Minds at all, you'll know how much I love to anodize titanium. And that's just what I did. I clamped some batteries to my Lemon and let the juice flow. It didn't change the color very much at all, which makes me question how much titanium is actually in this finish. So let's take a look right now. So I bought a bunch of stuff on a recent order to AliExpress. And this is the metal version of the Lemon M1. I think it's called the Lemon M1S for steel. Doesn't feel like steel. Very, very light anodized aluminum for metal pen. It's very, very light indeed. And it is a piston filler. There you go. So I was very impressed with the M1 when I got my first one, and I thought I'd give this a try. This silver anodized aluminum version of the Lemon M1 called the M1S. So we'll do a review on that. I'll show the parts and features of this pen, some size comparisons and measurements, and then provide a writing sample. And then I'll talk about what I like and what I don't like so much about this fountain pen. But first, you may have noticed that this pen is now slightly different in color than it was in the unboxing. When I unboxed it, I thought it was aluminum, but when I went back and looked at the order again, the listing said titanium. And since I've been slightly obsessed lately with anodizing anything titanium, this pen was no exception. I'll show you how I got it to this color right now. So here is the pen before I'm anodizing it. Take a good look at it because it won't look like this again. And I've decided that I'm going to make the pen one uniform color rather than doing a rainbow-like effect that I did here on my Moonman RS1. I'm going to turn it color by color, step by step, and take a look at each color and decide when I'm going to stop. And there's no guarantee it will look anything like this. This is a brushed titanium surface. This is more like a matte surface, and I'm not sure how it's going to react to color changes, but we shall see what we shall see. So for you anodization newbies out there, I'll go over this setup again. I have a Tupperware container here filled with distilled water and about a teaspoonful of baking soda. I have an old fork with a wire attached to it, the black wire, and the black wire ends in an alligator clip. And then I have the pen attached with a titanium wire to another alligator clip, and this one's red for the positive terminal. And we connect the negative alligator clip, black, and to the negative terminal, and the red positive alligator clip to the positive terminal of a 9-volt battery. On this chart that you see right here, 9 volts will get me this deep bronze color, and then we move up the voltages all the way up to, this chart goes up to 100 volts, and it turns into this light green. I'm just going to keep adding batteries as we go to change the colors, and we just add them by connecting negative to positive. That's now 18 volts, and so on. So to start with, I've got the titanium wire attached to the metal parts of the body of the pen. I couldn't find a way to do it all with the cap attached as well, so I'll do that separately. So this is just one battery, 9 volts, and we'll see what color it turns. Doesn't seem to be apparent. I'm seeing a slight change. So I'm going to move up to 18 volts to see whether more voltage will give me a better color change. So this is 18 volts. So it's subtly changing, which I find interesting. It's not as fast as the other. So I have my questions about how much titanium is in here. So we'll step up some batteries. Now we got 4 batteries attached, and that should be 36 volts. So it looks like it's taking more voltage to get through to this titanium, because it's still not changing. This should be going into a blue color. So we add more juice. So this is now 6 batteries, 54 volts. Turn on the juice, and we see what happens. Still only staying in that gold range. Very interesting. So I'll step it up again. So this is 14 batteries, or 126 volts, but some of my batteries are getting quite hot, and so I'm thinking the draw on them, or they're getting old or something like that, and so I'm not getting the full voltage that I expect, but it's still not turning color more than just the gold. So I'll do the cap just to match, and we'll see how it goes. I've got a battery here that's getting very hot. So here's the pen after the fact. I went all the way up to the most batteries I had, and it started getting some color range in here in the middle, but towards the ends, not so much. I think it might be because the inner hardware, this hardware here and this here, and the piston were all sapping off some voltage, and I couldn't separate the titanium out from the rest of the pen. So it's not as colorful as I expected it to be. It's a fairly bronzy kind of a color now, which is interesting, and it's got some bluish kind of an effect there, and I'm not sure whether I'm pleased with it or not. Probably not. So this anodization process for titanium, or anodizing anything actually, is mainly adding oxidation to a metal surface, which diffracts the light and causes the different colors. So because that's basically rust, I decided, well, I'm going to try some metal polish on that back section right there where it was blued and uneven, and it's kind of evened it out a little bit. So there you go. If you get some kind of rust remover, you can get some of that off. This Hongdian nib unit from the same AliExpress store called 365 Days Stationery Store, as I ordered the Lemon M1S. The nib is a steel Hongdian long blade number 6 nib unit. It comes in this convenient little plastic container and is only $7. I was interested to see if the two nibs are interchangeable and if they might in fact be identical but for the nib engraving, and they are. I'm going to swap out the nib unit for my other Lemon M1 with this Hongdian long blade. So there's the Lemon unit, and here is the Hongdian unit. And of course it fits perfectly. The nibs and the nib units are identical, but for the engravings. Selling thing that Hongdian and Lemon are the same company is the Lemon M1 unit here on the right, fitting perfectly into a Hongdian N6 piston filler. This is my black Hongdian N6 with the black nib, which is a Hongdian long blade. So we unscrew that unit and we screw in the lemon unit. And again, it fits perfectly. Now the issue with the N6 was cap clearance. If you try to swap in a standard number 6 size nib using the Hongdian nib and feed unit, most number 6 size nibs will be too long and catch on the inside of the nib. But the lemon M1 nib and this N6 fit perfectly. QED. Now to the issue of titanium. The fact that this surface turns slightly bronze means that there is titanium content in this alloy. Also, the fact that the M1S is a full 13 grams lighter than the M1 means the M1S must be made of a lighter alloy, perhaps some aluminum titanium mix. The M1 also might have more brass content, but certainly 13 grams is substantially lighter. I put 144 volts through this thing and it barely changed color. Look at this Magon RS1. The color on the ends of this pen are what you get when you zap titanium with 100 volts. Other than the silver colored alloy finish and the lighter weight, the M1S is identical to the M1. And you get a lot of nib options with both the M1 and the M1S. There are 8 different nibs available. 2 are regular nibs in extra fine and fine. 2 are what they call blade nibs, which are stubs in 0.7 millimeters and 9 millimeters. And 4 are what they like to call long knife nibs, which are naginata togi-like architect nibs in 0.6, 0.8, 1.0, and 1.2 millimeter sizes. There's a lot of confusion about all these fancy names. Most of them are just bad translations from the Chinese. For lemon, the blade nibs are stubs, thin horizontal lines and thick verticals. And the long knife nibs are architects with thin vertical lines and thick horizontals. But the long knife nibs have a slight pear shape to them, so they do exhibit some naginata togi-like behavior, where the vertical line also goes from a thin to a thicker line when you lower your pen angle relative to the page. Since the terms long knife, long blade, blade, and sword are all cast about willy-nilly on various retailers' pages from AliExpress to Etsy and eBay, it's hard to know what you're going to get. My advice is to ask the retailer. I asked the retailer specifically about the differences between the lemon M1S blade and the long knife nibs. The explanation was blade was a stub and the long knife was an architect. Your mileage may vary, so ask before you buy. As I said in a previous video, the pistons on all these Hongdian lemons are identical parts, so they come from the same place. So that includes, but is not limited to, the lemon M1 and M1S, the Hongdian N7, the Hongdian N1S, the Hongdian N6, and the Hongdian D5. And they all use the little Hongdian wrench to remove the piston as well. I bought this pen from the 365 Days stationery store on AliExpress for $68.99 US. You have all of the nib choices that I mentioned, plus a choice of gold or silver hardware, and your choice of a lemon top finial or a chrysanthemum, a flower top finial on the medallion. If you choose the chrysanthemum medallion with a long knife nib and silver trim, your pen could be considered a rhodium lemon chrysanthemum titanium long knife fountain pen. Get it as a gift for your mother and you can say, "It's a rhodium lemon chrysanthemum titanium long knife, Mom." Is the 13-gram lighter weight of the M1S with its long knife nib and dubious titanium content worth roughly double the price? I don't think so. You'd be better off buying a lemon M1 with a regular nib, either EF or F, and buying a Hongdian long blade nib for $7 in addition. That would cost you roughly $32 and be pretty much the same pen. Now let's look at some size comparisons. Here's the lemon M1S titanium with a Hongdian N7, a Hongdian N6, a Hongdian N1S, and a Jinhao Centennial. Let's look at them posted. And here they are posted. The best posters here are the N6 and the N1S. All 4 of these pens share the same piston, and this is a cartridge converter on the Jinhao 100 Centennial. and it doesn't post very well at all. It should be noted, however, that the M1 posts right on that piston knob. Now let's look at them unposted. And here they are posted. They're all a decent length for writing unposted. Now let's look at some measurements, and I'll be back with a writing sample. And we're back with the writing portion of the review. This is Clairefontaine 90 GSM paper, and this is the Lemon M1S, and it has a number 6 size steel architect nib. I'm putting brackets Naginata Togi. Putting brackets for the purists, like. Let's check the wetness. It's decently wet, and it's very smooth. And you can see that architect character with the relatively thin vertical and the thick horizontal strokes. And the ink is diamine Jack Frost. Since just last week I was sitting outside in the sun in my shorts reading my book, and today my sun lounger is under 6 inches of snow in minus 14 degrees Celsius temperatures.
It is a bracing cold, an invigorating cold. Lord, is it cold!
I thought Jack Frost would be a really nice choice. As to line variation, well, there's no pushing this nib at all. It's very, very stiff. But because of the nature of that nib, you're going to get line variation by the ton through normal writing. And this nib makes a 0.2 millimeter line in the vertical and a 0.8 millimeter line in the horizontal, giving you a range of a Western triple extra fine to broad, or Japanese extra fine to double broad, on my Richard Binder line width chart, which you can find linked in the description below. And for our quote, and for some reverse writing, it's very thin and dry. And some quick writing. Now, I'm having no difficulty with the amount of flow to this nib, but you can see it skips here now and then, and that is mostly because of this ink. Jack Frost from Diamine is a very dry ink. No matter how much ink flows to that nib, it tends to skip a little bit. So what do I like and what do I not like about this fountain pen? I like the Lemon M1S as much as the M1, and the M1S is 13 grams lighter. But my pocketbook is $30 lighter. I paid the extra amount for my other titanium pens because they were titanium. The Moonman TI200, Moonman RS1, and the Asvine P36 are all titanium pens. And you can see, because I was able to anodize them to wonderful colors. I think Lemon left the tit out of titanium and left me with just anium.
Welcome to the planetarium.
I thought it was planetarium.
Well, it is, but I have a bone disease, which impedes my ability to pronounce the T in planetarium. That's a pretty weird bone disease.
Because this color now looks like poo-poo. And there you have it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell to get instant notifications whenever a new video is posted. And you can join as a member of my channel for only 99 cents a month, and I guarantee I'll answer your comments in the comment section, and you'll get cool emojis, badges, and sneak peek unboxing videos as well. And that just leaves it for me to say, thank you for watching. And that's all she wrote.
I made this.